Welcome back to my channel. Today's message, as I was wearing my hoodie today, got me thinking about Jedis. Star Wars came to mind. The light side, the dark side. Sometimes I turn and it's dark, sometimes I turn and it's light shining on me. And I've seen both of them wear the hoodie type, the robes and hoods. And I got thinking about why, the world is always thinking in terms of light and dark and good and bad, good and evil type concepts. And I just don't see it the same way. And I feel like I see resonance through so many sources talking about good and evil, light and dark, including Star Wars, where they're close and they're touching on some things, and maybe there's a lot of secretive messaging, sneaky messaging in the background of, higher truths that can help us understand, get a better grasp on what light and dark is or could represent. The general human is neither light nor dark, but in a superposition where either one is a potential, and both are within, but in forms that most people don't think. You don't have like an emanating dark source. What we all have, and have potential of using, is a core of light. We all have an internal core of light that guides us and that guides others by our light. However, that core is only accessible as transparent as you allow yourself to become, for yourself and for others. You can see some of your light inside. You may know it's there, but not experience it and fully appreciate the light that it can give off. As I turn with the sun behind me, the light that it shines forth, might be in there, but then if we block it with a higher density of block, of shroud, cloak, we may cloak our light at times, whether it's to hide it from those that don't deserve it. I mean, not that they don't deserve it, but that aren't ready for it. We don't want to cast our pearls before swine type of thing. And it's not calling people swine, it's just the unprepared. The ones that aren't ready to integrate and really understand light the way it's ready to be given out. And, they're not ready to receive it in that same way. Let's unshroud that light. So, we all have this light core within that teaches us, that shows that can shine light on dark situations if we have access to it. If we've uncovered that light, we can shine it on situations and know truth from lies and good from bad influences. But the more that we hide it from the world, the more we hide it from ourselves as well. And it's harder for us to see. But the more that we shine it forth, the more courage that we gain to shine that light, which isn't it's a vulnerable thing to do, to open up our light and shine it for the world. But when we do that, we are also receiving the benefit of the light. If we have a flashlight, but then we cover it up, it doesn't do us much good. But yeah, nobody can see that we're there. Like if we're afraid of being caught, afraid of being seen, afraid of the people around us, the world around us. But we have this flashlight, but we don't want to use it because people might see us. People might see our light. And so we hide it. But then because we hide it, we don't get to see that light for ourselves. So we want to be able to see the benefit of the light that we've been producing. We each work toward discovering more of the light that we have within, but the only way we can discover it is by illuminating it, by opening up, by peeking inside, becoming more transparent, becoming more translucent, you know, we don't have to be fully transparent. Translucent is good enough to, as a stepping stone. You know, just let your light shine out without seeing the source of the light. Some people aren't ready to know the source of the light and comprehend how that even works. But if they see that there is light there, then it gives them courage to shine their own light. Now, what do we mean by light and dark? So dark obviously is just light covered. So everyone has light and the ability to shine. But if you cover it, you are serving the dark side by just protection. And so what is this whole light and dark? Let's think of a spectrum. Dark being low vibration, light being high vibration. What a cutie. All right, I'm trying to put this in a way that makes sense to people that haven't thought through this same process. Density. You know, we talk about high density, low density. You know, if you're a very dense object, no light can pass through. A very I'm trying to think of a good way to put it into terms, what I'm seeing. So we all have this core of light within us that we can shine for others, or that we can use to, which I feel like is the most important, to shine on ourselves, to really discover ourselves first, which can then help us understand those outside of us or that appear separate from us. But we all have this light, and if you know that we all have this light, then you can have compassion for those that haven't found it or that are too shy to shine out. And so when you see somebody living in a dark situation, it's just because they haven't found how to illuminate themselves or allow transparency enough for somebody else's light to shine in and shine a spotlight on where their light source is, so they can access it and call it forth and shine it out for the rest of the world. And the more people that shine their light, the more permission we give for those that haven't found out how to, or haven't given themselves permission yet, to shine their light forward and outward. And the only thing it takes is to be able to become more transparent or translucent. So if you start scrubbing away at that darkness that that we through our experience have let the world or other people put upon us and paint us with, then we can have an illuminating translucency, and it can be colorful, it can be whatever we want to paint it up to be, to have a different color of light. So we can be our individual, unique essence of this light show of like a stained glass window, a very unique, ornate image of light shining out, blessing the world with this beauty. Or we can keep it hidden, tuck it away, and in doing that, people that shine their light, oftentimes you feel like, oh, I wish I could shine my light, if you're living in the dark. And so you might, somebody in that situation might put down those that shine their light, might make them feel, try to find ways to make them feel like, you're stupid for shining your light. Your light is ugly, your image could be so much better. But that's just because they're a little jealous inside that they don't feel comfortable shining their light as much as they see you doing. And so obviously envy and jealousy will cause people to do and say things to bring down the light of others, or try to get them to cover up their light. It's too bright. Well, yeah, if you're not used to light, like my eyes haven't been used to receiving the light because I always cover them up with the darkness of the sunglasses. Now, not to say, there aren't appropriate times to hide your light or to shine it, but that's for us to be discerning about. We don't want to shine our light on everybody with everybody too much, but just enough glow so they know it's there, and they know if I want to learn about light and how to shine it, I want to find one of these people that I know glows to get the advice from, to find out, to stretch, to allow myself to maybe glow a little bit more, maybe illuminate a little more of my light within. And then that light within can spread and become a light that illuminates the world. And the more people that do it, the more courage people have to do it. And it just becomes a more beautiful, colorful world, because all color, all the beautiful things that we see in color exist because of light, because of the light reflecting off of the light sources. So we have reflectivity we can access and reflect the light of people around us until we can find our own light. And then we can shine that light out.
Sorry.
You're good. Shine that light for others to see. And once we become a source, then we can shine it. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to preach anything. We don't have to try to convince people to turn on their light. We just have to show them that it's a possible thing, that humans have a core of light within. That's crazy. I didn't know that. And then I want to see my light. How come I have this dark shroud? Let me dig in here. Oh, I have a little light in there too. Let me see what people think if I shine a little bit out, and then they'll try a little bit. They might cover the light from time to time with little patches of color. They might attempt a little bit here and then hide it, attempt to bring it out, hide it, just to their comfort. And that's the natural course. That's what we're all doing in this life. And if we just keep hiding it, then we're never freely living and never showing others the permission to live too. So that's what I'm trying to get at, is light versus dark isn't good versus evil. It's open versus shrouded. Transparent, translucent. If you really want to be bold, you can be fully transparent and just open up the light for everybody and say, this is my source, and come and pick at it, and, dog on it. You can try to challenge it or debate me on it, but good luck. Darkness, somebody else's inability to shine their light, will never have the power to snuff out my light. They can try to throw paint at me, but in the end, I can walk away from them, wash that paint off, and keep going, shine my light as much as I want. Some people allow that paint to just stick and settle, and then they never get their light back because they're like, oh, these people told me to cover up my light, and then they threw paint and helped me cover it up, and good, yeah, it's probably good advice just to keep my light covered. And it's like, for each person, that's a decision that they have to make. Do I want to shine? Do I want to be shined on? Do I want to stay with my darkness, my lack of shining, and only hang out with people that also cover up their lights, so I feel like I'm not so outshone? So it's just a different perspective to think about light versus dark. And obviously, if you're feeling lost in the world or in darkness, well, yeah, your flashlight is covered up. Take the cover off and you'll start discovering what it is you're looking for. Everyone feels lost because they feel like there's something out there that they're supposed to see. If you're in a room that's pitch black, yeah, there's so much stuff going on in that room, but if you can't see it, you can't be a part of it as much, And I mean, you won't be able to see the magnificence. Maybe there's people in there having a good time and you have your eyes covered. The light is on, the light's there to see, the activities are there going on, but if your eyes are covered, you're blocking yourself from the receptivity of that light. And take that how you will. I feel like there's so much truth to this new concept of light versus dark. It's not good versus evil. It's illuminated versus shrouded. And seek in your own life where you feel illuminated, where you feel shrouded, the people around you. And if you see people that are highly shrouded, that don't shine out a light, that don't seem like they're in a healthy, happy place, that don't know how to shine light or reflect light or receive light, take compassion on them, because in many ways, you yourself have been there. In every little thing we can choose to shine, to reflect, or to cover our light. And there's probably still some ways that I am and each of us individuals that are hiding our light and don't realize it just because it was a protective mechanism, which serves a purpose, especially earlier on in life, before we learn how to free ourselves from the need to cover. So, compassion for those that haven't discovered their light or haven't discovered how to have the courage to shine their light or reflect. That's the message for today. Shine your light, seek first your light within, and then be discerning on when you shine it and which lights you reflect and which paint you allow yourself to get splashed with. Because there's some paints that the light can shine right through, translucent coloring. So if you want your light to shine forth, but you want color and art, an artistic flair to your life, then put that colorful paint on. But then there's some paint that's so dense, so it doesn't allow the light to go through. And some people will make you think, hey, you need to be more colorful. Paint yourself with this paint. And you're like, oh yeah, I saw somebody that was really colorful. I'll do that. And then you start painting yourself with it, but you don't realize it's a thick paint. It's a dense paint that doesn't let that light come out. And then you end up covering your light, painting yourself up with this masterpiece that nobody's going to be able to see because you're going to be just a shroud of darkness. And unless they shine their light on you and be like, oh, okay, I can see you did some painting there, but you still live in such a dark situation. You go into a dark room and you don't illuminate it because you haven't learned how to shine forth. Not everybody needs to shine super bright. If you don't feel like your calling in life or this current existence is something that you want to just go shine for everybody, maybe it's too far from what you've built yourself into right now, and that's your path, and that's fine. And we can love and accept everybody for where they're at in their colorful light journey. Not everybody has to be a light source. We have a sun, but these don't shine light. These trees don't shine light, but they allow their colors to reflect and to show to the world. Those lemons, those aren't individual yellow lights. They're just reflecting the light that there is. But we each have a core of light, and we can choose to be another one and connect with other light sources, or just be a light to guide those that feel lost, those that don't see without our presence. When we leave, the room goes dark. They don't understand why. And they don't understand that they can unshroud their own light. Anyway, I love you. I love the light. I love the dark. I love what we do together. Either one without the other. Light is too bright if it's only light everywhere. So different people are at their different points of progression of discovering their light within. So like I keep getting back to in many instances, people are at just different levels in the game and or serving different parts of the game. And so we need challenges. Some people are here practicing being those challenges for those of us that want to grow. I can't grow without a challenge, and somebody else is here to be that challenge, to help us understand the value of shining our light. And our shining the light brings light to them and shows the world what beauty they have, even if they can't find the core of light within. And they don't need to. That tree doesn't need to shine out a light. I don't know. It's just kind of all over the place. Well, I hope my message shone through the back and forth of all the ways I've been trying to communicate it, but I appreciate you joining me for this journey and letting me shine my light wherever I can, and which helps me choose to seek within and see it, because it brings so much color and so much beauty to my life. And when I see people that are struggling with their life experience, I see that one of the things that I experienced going from where I see them at to where I'm at, loving every experience in my life and never feeling down, never feeling doubt, never feeling hate, never feeling fear. It's such a huge contrast. And I realized that I've discovered some of the things that worked for me, and so I want to share them. And that's what I started my channel for. And I appreciate you guys joining. Hope the message got through to whoever it meant to, and whoever's open to it and wants to hear it. I love you. I trust that light will shine on those that are receptive. And so keep the light, love the light, and be compassionate for those that can't look into the light. It is pretty bright, and that haven't found the light within themselves or the courage to shine it. And they don't need to. We don't need to talk them into doing it either. Just, you can be compassionate for them, but if their darkness or they're throwing dark paint at you is too much, you can step away. You don't have to support them in their darker behaviors, but don't let it dim your light. Love you guys. Keep it bright. So, young Padawan, Jedi, or Sith, wherever you stand in the world right now, whatever your current position of light, production, absorption, reflection, whatever source of light you draw from, reflect, or become, you're beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with occasionally putting on some sunglasses if you just want a toned down vibe.